I definitely got there, and I was not at all ready. I used to want to be a NASCAR racer. Yes, freshman year was definitely the hardest year of my life. I definitely had a lot of anxiety. Hitting drives and saving lives.
It's about faith, family, and friends. I'm your host, Greg Pattison, and this is the Fore Interview with Tour Pro Rachel Jones. On the phone now with Rachel Jones, Tour Pro, golfer, and we believe she's in Alabama. Is that where you are?
I am. I'm currently in Alabama, headed back home.
Yeah, you were just playing on the Eggland's Best Tour down in Fort Rucker, correct?
Yes, sir. I was there. It was Fort Rucker, Alabama, and I spent the next day today with one of my friends, Anna Lesher, who's also on the same tour. And we just took a little off day and went to Destin, Florida, so that was super fun. And now I'm headed back, and I'm staying in Atlanta halfway and then driving back to North Carolina, where I'm from, tomorrow morning.
I saw on your Instagram page or a post today of the two of you on a jet ski. Was that there? Was that there in Destin?
Oh, yes. That was so fun. We rented a jet ski and took it out to, it's called Crab Island, which is right there on the bay at Destin. And that was so fun. And the water's beautiful. So we had a good time, even though it was just for a day, but it was great. I'm glad we did it. I've been talking about it all day, like all week, to all the girls I've been playing with and all our friends on tour. And I said, y'all, we've got to go to Destin. And they're like, you're not actually going to go to Destin. I said, no, I pretty much am. We just got to find people to do it with. So then Anna was my little adventure buddy, and she said, yes, let's go.
Well, it looks like the two of you had a great time. So,
it was great.
Well, you gotta, as hard as you all work at it, you gotta take a break, right?
That's right.
Gotta recharge the batteries.
Usually I always take a day off right after a tournament, and we had a 2-day pro-am, so it was like 5 days straight. So I said, yes, I'm definitely going to the beach.
Yep,
it was only less than 2 hours, so if it was more, I probably wouldn't have, but it was only 2 hours.
So normally I get a chance to kind of do my homework on folks that join us, and I was lucky to be able to snatch Rachel here so quickly, and so it's, I guess, kind of a spontaneous way. Listeners, I'm going to learn and you're going to learn about who she is at the same time. So I think that's kind of a cool way to do it, if you will. So Rachel, what I do know is you're from North Carolina, and you went to the University of North Carolina as well. I imagine that would be a hard place not to go to if you're from North Carolina. But
yes,
give us a little background on yourself and how you got involved in golf and your career at North Carolina.
Okay, so I started golf pretty late compared to other girls that I play with. So I played basketball pretty much my whole life, and then realized I wanted to play golf in high school. So I started playing freshman year, and then I started taking lessons from my coach, Kelly Phillips, out of Greensboro, and I realized that I could be pretty, decent at this game. And so I started working with him, about every 2 weeks or so. At first, I think it was every month, and then we went to 2 weeks. And I realized I loved it, and I loved the grind of it and just trying to get better and seeing where it goes. And I ended up not playing basketball my junior and senior year, so I could play golf full-time and year-round. So that was awesome how I just saw a lot of progression in my game, and, I really enjoyed the grind of it. I had to pretty much start from scratch with my swing. My dad said we lived on a golf course growing up, and he told me when I was really young and I would just go out there with him, my swing was literally perfect. And then I got to high school and something happened. So I had to start taking lessons, and we just pretty much started from scratch and kind of built my swing back. And now, I play a natural draw, and I do have my swing where I want it pretty much for the most part. but it took a long time, a lot of time, as we still work on our games so much every day. So I decided not to play basketball. I played golf, and then junior year, all the recruiting stuff happened, and senior year, well, I was pretty late to the recruiting process, and I went to UNC golf camp under Jan Mann, the coach, who's still there, and she was my coach all 4 years. I went to that camp, and I loved it. I had a blast, and I did pretty well the last day when we had the tournament, and so coach was going to help me, with my college decision about golf, just different coaches she knew, and was going to put me in contact with them. And so I was just kind of playing the waiting game, sending out emails to coaches and all that. I didn't have much experience because I started so late. So a lot of my tournament golf, was mainly sophomore year, summer of sophomore year and sophomore and junior year, I guess it was. And so I really didn't have much experience, and a lot of coaches don't want to take a chance on someone that doesn't have a lot of tournaments under their belt. So that was hard. The recruiting process was tiring, and it drug out for a while. And literally senior year, I still didn't know where I was going. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a strong Christian, and I just prayed to God one day. I was like, none of this stuff was working out, none of the recruiting stuff. I was like, I don't know where I'm going to school. And I just fully surrendered to him. And, then I got a call that next week from Jan Mann at Carolina, and she offered me a spot on the team. And so that was a huge answer to prayer, and it was literally one of the best days because all that was done. Like, I didn't have to worry about the recruiting process ever again. And I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like, I'm going to talk to my parents, but yes, it's pretty much a no-brainer. So I committed that week, and it was really late. Like, it was my senior year. It was around my birthday, which was, I can't remember if September, October, somewhere around then. And it was just so awesome how all that played out. And then I went to Carolina and played. And then I decided probably, I don't know, junior year. I think it was junior year that I wanted to play after college as well and try to go pro. And then senior year, it was just, I didn't have the greatest season, but I knew still that I wanted to play after college and, do it on my own and be an individual and make my own schedule and how I practice and all that. And so that was super cool. It was a huge developmental year this year, just trying to figure out how to schedule everything, traveling and all the expense stuff, pretty much everything you have to learn the first year of being on tour. So that was really fun. And now that 1 year's done with that, I feel like I have a better grasp of everything for the coming years. And I'm just more aware that this is definitely what I want to do. I think that's just so cool. And I've met so many cool girls on this tour. I'm playing right now on the Eggland's Best Pro Tour run by Scott Walker, and I've enjoyed it this year. And I went to Q School last year, right after college, and I wasn't sure if I was ready to go, but I wanted to see. So I went, and I didn't make the first cut to make it to the fourth day of play at stage one in Palm Springs. And so what that meant is since I finished 3 rounds, I got some conditional status. And so I thought I'd get into some Symetra events, but I've been on the wait list pretty much all year so far. So I went back to Q School in August, the end of August, this past August, in Palm Springs again, stage one, and I made the first cut. So I made it the fourth day, and then I finished tied for 112. So they were going to take the top 100, and they emailed us that night saying they might take a few more strokes off the cut line after the Evian Championship, the LPGA Championship in France. So we were going to find out on, was it the 17th, September 17th. So that was a day I was playing in this last tournament this past week. And so right after I got done with my round, I got a text from my past teammate and another girl on tour with me, and they were saying congrats. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I know what just happened. So I checked my email, and I found out it said, congratulations, you made it stage 2. So that was a huge, I was so happy and relieved because I'd waited for about, a few weeks, 3 weeks to figure out if I would be able to go. So I've just been practicing, doing my thing like I always would do, working on my game and with my coach and playing tournaments. And then when I found that out, I was just so thrilled. And so I called my coach, and he's actually going to caddy for me again at stage 2. So we'll head down in a few short weeks, and stage two's in Dennis, Florida. So really excited about that. So things are looking up for sure.
Let's go back. So that's quite a bit and exciting. But let's step through some of that. So how difficult was it for you to make the transition from basketball to golf and make the commitment to change those
Mhm.
two? Because I can
Honestly,
imagine you were
the
probably getting a little pressure
yeah.
from your high school coaches and saying, hey, yeah, wait a second, don't leave me here. And then you're on the golf side, and it's but ultimately you got to do what your heart tells you to do and is
Right.
passionate about. But
Um,
what was that transition like?
Honestly, it was pretty smooth, I would say. Well, yeah, it was pretty smooth. So my freshman year and sophomore year, I played on the team, and then by junior year and senior year, I felt like I played for so long that I was getting almost burnt out. I was like, okay, well, I've made the varsity team. I've kind of done what I wanted to do. I wasn't going to be playing basketball in college, and so I was like, I love the girls that I was around, but some of my good friends also had quit just because they were just kind of done with basketball in general. They were just had done it too long. They just kind of lost the passion. But we had a great coach, and I would have loved to stayed on the team, but I knew that to get better at golf and to be able to play at a Division I college, I was going to have to give up everything except for golf. And so I need to just focus on one sport. I know there's a lot of people out there that try to do multiple sports, and that's fine, but I knew for me, it's easier for me to focus on one thing. I'm not the greatest at compartmentalizing everything. So why I guess college was difficult for me, I guess, to balance golf and school and social life and all that. So it honestly wasn't that hard to change over because it just felt like the right thing to do. So that really wasn't a big thing. I think I was just so excited about seeing where my game could go that I really didn't think much about the past. I just kind of kept going.
So you
Right.
mentioned the camp. I want to talk a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit about that camp that you went to. You said it was kind of an exciting thing to be a part of. What was that like, and is that something that you would encourage others to take
Mhm.
part in if they have the opportunity?
Yeah, I think so. I love going to group golf camps like that. Even with basketball, I did those basketball camps, and I think it's so fun. You're with your team or you're with people you don't even know. So I didn't know. I don't think I knew anybody at that camp. And you go and you stay in Greenville Towers, which I'm not sure if they still do that. I think they changed, but you stay there, and it's about 5 days long, and you meet so many girls that also play golf, and it was just so fun. I remember meeting so many cool people, and I still talk to them, and we just literally you saw what it's like to do golf full time. You did it from 8 to 8, and we'd get out there and we'd have drill work and we'd have stations and we'd be in a certain group, like by the level of where your game is pretty much. And so you stay with your group, but you move to different stations, and they have different college coaches at each college. I mean, at each station. So you get to meet different college coaches. You get to work on different parts of your game. So there was a putting, chipping, pitching, shots out of the rough, just random stuff like that. And got to meet all of them and see how they coach and what they're like. So that was really cool because they came back many years after that, and they still help with the camp. And I actually was a camp counselor for about 2 years, and I helped out one day this year just because I missed it and wanted to go back. As a camp counselor, you pretty much just help with whatever you need to do around the practice facility, and you can help out with one of the stations, and you stay with the girls. So that was really fun, and to be on the other side of that was cool because I did really enjoy our camp counselors when I was there. So,
What station did you dominate?
ooh, well, coach pretty much handled the long game stuff. I would have loved to do some of that, but I was helping out with some pitch shots and chip shots and stuff like that. I feel like my ball striking is the best thing, and so kind of humorous because I need to be on the greens all the time, chipping and pitching. So it's kind of where I
We
need to
do.
be probably. So it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. What was, you're from North Carolina, and
Mhm.
Chapel Hill. I mean, UNC's got to be, the holy ground, if you will. And
It's great
but what was day one like for you?
at school.
D1 at school.
So I would love to say that it was the most exciting time, and I was thrilled to be there, and it was not scary at all. But I definitely got there, and I was not at all ready to be there yet. I absolutely love my family. I was homesick. And it was only an hour away. It's not like I can't see them. It's just the fact of being gone, for 4 years. I definitely had a lot of anxiety my freshman year. That's a huge part of my story, actually. And it was so bad that I've had to talk to coach about it. And she was gracious enough to let me pretty much not practice or do anything with the team that first semester, just to get kind of figured out what I was doing. So I actually took a medical red shirt my freshman year, and I really wanted to come back spring of freshman year. I was doing a lot better, and she just thought, for team aspect and dynamic and everything, just to start back sophomore year. So I would come out like once or twice a week with the team in the spring. But yes, freshman year was definitely the hardest year of my life by far. But I will say after I got over all that, it was the best thing ever. Yeah. So, obviously it was hard, so hard, but I love the people there, and I had amazing friends, and the community at UNC is so, so cool and very big. Yeah, yes, it's really a big college, but I feel like everywhere you went, you knew someone, just because, I don't know, I just always felt like you knew someone when you're walking class or wherever you were, really. So that was a really cool part.
They have the term homesick for a reason, right? Because as people get it, and it's all part of the transition. It's all part of the learning curve. And I've asked,
Mm-hmm.
some of the other folks that I've interviewed, what type of, advice they would have for girls coming in,
Yeah.
into golf or into college, their first time, how to experience that. And, is there a takeaway from that you could, tell somebody else? The school year started, but as girls are going out and looking, for their next year and they're going to experience that
Yeah.
coming up, what advice would you give them that says, hey,
Ooh,
you are coming away from home. You're going to get
right.
anxious. This is a new experience.
Yeah.
It has a big pressure.
I
There's a
mean,
lot looked at you. What would you say to
I
them?
feel like my case was so severe that it's hard to, like, some girls will probably not feel the intensity of what I felt. Anxiety's there obviously for everybody, but mine was where I didn't want to get out of the bed, like crazy stuff. And so, but I would still tell those people, it almost feels like you're about to jump off a cliff. Like that's just what it felt like, because you're leaving home for 4 years and you think, oh my gosh, like I'm out of the house forever, blah, blah, blah. But it's really just, if they just think about they're just going to school. Like if they're just going to school like normal, you can always visit home. Way better to think that way. I know it's harder said than done. But also I would say, not everybody has the same beliefs as me, but I would say get into like Christian community or people around you that could, just be there for you, and you can learn together with. And I just, that's kind of, I look back now and it's crazy that I look back at that and think, oh wow, that was amazing, that like how that all happened. But I really did need some time, I feel like, away from golf. For me personally, in my case, I see why now. It allowed me to meet a ton of people that weren't athletes too, that were there for me for 4 years. I lived with those girls for 4 years, and it was amazing. And I think that having those people, like I wouldn't have probably thought I had the time if I had to go to practice every single day. I would probably not find the time to go to those things and meet these new people that were in my life all throughout college if that hadn't have happened. Obviously other people would, but I just felt like I really couldn't. I was so overwhelmed with everything that I just probably wouldn't have met all these people I did if that wouldn't have happened. So that's really cool looking back that, I kind of see, how all that came about. And there was actually this thing called College Life. It's Young Life, but for people in college. And I went to that, and it was at 5 o'clock on, oh, this is bad, I forgot. But I think it was Tuesdays, 5 o'clock. And practice always went from about 2:30 to 5:30 or 2 to 5. And so I wouldn't have been able to go to that if I was doing the normal golf thing my freshman year. So I would have never met all those people that are like my best friends if I hadn't have been off the team that semester. So, yeah, so it's kind of crazy looking back, but I see the good in it now.
The takeaways: faith, family, and friends, right?
Hey, that's what I just literally just told the girls. I was like, I said, this is what I think about on the golf course. So there's this girl that I was playing with, and she's pretty much Instagram famous. It's hilarious. And so she was telling me about that, and she's great. And she told me, and I don't know, I guess I just started thinking about it. And I said, I should just make my Instagram bio way more condensed. And I was like, honestly, this is so middle schoolish. But I was like, faith, family, friends, fun, because I'm all about some fun. So I was like, that is the dumbest thing. But I told the girls when we were eating after the round, I was like, y'all, this is what I think about. Like, I don't even
Yeah,
know what I was doing, but I was just randomly thinking about it,
not a bad idea. So I like it.
That's right. That's right.
So you get through college golf, and
Mhm.
what was that like?
What, college
Briefly, yeah,
golf?
just playing those 4 years at
Mhm.
UNC. What was that like?
It was probably the most challenging thing I've done, but it was the most rewarding too. I would not do it. I wouldn't want to. I mean, at this point in my life, I did it, and I don't want to, do a whole another 4 years of college golf. But I loved it. I loved it, and I wouldn't have changed that ever. Like I would still want to do that over. And I literally love my team. Um, I still talk to them all the time. I just got off the phone with one of them before I got on the phone with you, and they're some of my best friends. And it's so true when they talk about like our Tar Heel family, Carolina family. Like, there's nothing like that. I remember eating with, after practice we'd go eat all together or dinner, and I just remember how easy that felt. It was just like that's just a thing to do, or like a family, like that's just what you do. And yes, I had other friends, but it became so tight knit of a group that it was just awesome. Like we would just always do stuff together, and we'd have team bonding like every month or every few weeks. And coach would also have us over at her house, which was so awesome. We always enjoyed that, and her dogs and everything. So it really did feel like a family. We'd always have a Christmas party there, and we'd do little cookouts, and the guys team do that too. Cookouts outside at Chapman, where our facility is, and we just have a good time. And so yes, I mean all of that. I mean, there's just nothing like the experiences we had. We got to play some really cool courses. We'd go on trips during spring break to practice and get out of the snow at certain times of the year, and can't forget the gear. The gear is huge.
Yeah.
We got all kinds of fun stuff. We loved our shoes. That was a big thing. Um, yeah, it was just all awesome. And we had this thing called Leadership Academy, which is pretty much for all athletes. And I learned so much in that. I hope they know that. Like, we learned so much. There's 4 different levels, so freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. And I did it all the way up. And you only had to do it, I think, for freshman year, but a lot of us wanted to do it more because it was so fun. And we met on Mondays, about every other Monday, depending on what level you were on. And you just learned about leadership traits. You got to meet other athletes, and it really just brought all the athletes together. Also was involved with Athletes in Action, which is a Christian ministry for athletes. Some of my best friends were in AIA, and we just meet every week together and did like a devotional and met in small groups and ate a lot of stuff, and ice cream, Maple View ice cream, can't forget it. And it was great. So yeah, I think honestly the community at Carolina was by far the best. Oh my gosh, I would do it over for sure.
And how many of those basketball games did you go to?
Oh, I'm almost every one of them. If I could, I was going to go. I was
Yeah.
like not going to miss one. Football too, but our season was in too, so it was kind of harder for football. But I'm a huge sports fan. I just go to everything.
Did you tell them like, hey, basketball's in my background. Like if you need a sub in or something, just right here,
They
just
would not take me.
just
They
tag
would
me
not.
in. Come on, tag me in. Right? I still got
Oh,
it.
they wouldn't
I
take
still
me.
got it. You are
No,
you are a sports fan.
never.
You came here to the Colorado Women's Open, and I had I pulled your Instagram page up
Oh,
a little bit ago, and I see you wearing some Buffs gear. You
oh
went
my
to the
goodness.
game. You went to the Colorado State
Yes,
game, and
it was
you
so
got some
fun.
Buffs gear on. I'm like,
Yes.
wait a minute, is this girl a Buff somehow? So you
No,
show up in a
okay. So
town and you root for the team. How
oh,
about that?
oh, that's right. I mean, our host family was awesome, and he had extra tickets. So the girl I was staying with, Elaine, we both went with him and his friend, and had a blast. It was great. It was actually in the Broncos Stadium, so that was cool. But it was kind of funny because I kept wanting to say Bucks, not Buffs, and he's like, no, it's right, it's Buff. And I was like, okay, I got it. It was just weird to say. I was like,
Yeah,
Buff. So
absolutely.
it was fun. I was just going to say, I just always like to make tournaments fun. Like if I'm in a cool area, just do something that I wouldn't do or I would do if I was there. And so I found my friends, we just like to explore and go eat and go find stuff to do. So it's always fun.
Well, that's all part of, getting to travel and learn some of that stuff. And I think you knew from probably college golf, there's times where
Hmm.
you traveled and all you got to see was, the airport, the golf
Right.
course,
And
and the
schedule.
bus that took you there, right? And seeing the
Yeah.
world is, every bit of it. That's an experience nobody
Right.
can ever take away from you.
Yeah.
And trust me,
Coach.
for your career, as your career advances and, you go from, dominating this game to teaching people about the game, all these things that
Yeah.
you're doing is just stuff you'll be able to pass on. So they can never take it away from you, right? So
And Coach was
live
always
it up.
good about letting us see cool stuff, go get ice cream, all the fun stuff. So that was fun. There are a lot of people that are doing this pro circuit and they don't enjoy the traveling, but luckily for me, I absolutely love traveling. Like I have a lot of energy and I don't like sitting down for too long, and so it's perfect for me. I love flying, but I also don't mind driving and jamming out in the car and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Through Alabama or whatever state it may be at the time,
Through
right?
Alabama, wherever I
There
am.
you go. So, so you turned pro. What made you decide to do that?
Well, honestly, it was just like a huge passion within. Like I just knew that that's what I was supposed to do. So I'm just doing it. I don't know how else to describe it. Like I just
That's
there's
it. I'm
nothing
just
that
doing it. That's
yeah,
perfect.
there's no like spark that happened. I just knew that like
Yeah.
the Lord wanted me on, and so that's what I'm doing.
You said I'm going for it. So there's no defining moment other
Yeah,
than this is what I'm
pretty
doing
much
and I'm going to keep
now.
doing
I
it,
mean, pretty
right?
much. And I always wanted to, and then I was just like, okay, well, we're gonna do this or what? So I just did it.
Well, fully focusing off and running. So
That's
give
right.
us you've made it into stage 2. That's definitely a
Yeah.
highlight. Give us, what would you consider your your biggest pro highlight to date?
Hmm. I mean, honestly, just because it's the furthest I've come, it is probably making it stage two. There's no like moment in particular of my pro career. I've not had a super low. I mean, my lowest round was a 66, and it was a few weeks ago at my home course, and I played it straight up from the blacks, which is where I usually play there, and I think it was about 6,600 or so. So it was like a normal course I'd be playing in a tournament, and greens were rolling fast, and it was awesome because it was right before Q school it happened, but it wasn't in a pro event. So I wouldn't necessarily count that because it wasn't in a tournament, but I would for sure say with this progression of stage one to stage two, I think that for sure is my highlight, as well as playing some Monday qualifiers. I didn't ever qualify for LPGA event this year, but it was so cool. They had up all the stands and the ropes and everything, and just to play the course that the girls were going to play that same week was really cool, and it kind of brought you back to wow, like this, you know, this this is cool.
Yeah,
Like this is where you want to be,
this is that's what
and
you want to do.
so it's kind of envisioning yourself in that same position. So I'll continue to play some money qualifiers this coming year, and now that I made it stage two, I'll have pretty good status for Symetra next year. Even though I don't know what's going to happen after stage two, I know I'll still have way better status than last year. So playing more Symetra events and money qualifiers and see what happens.
Just continuing to make those steps forward.
That's right.
I work with a guy here, Brian Bubba Carlson. He's
Hmm.
the director of golf at Walnut Creek Golf Preserve, and he's helped me kind of as I worked my way through some of the amateur tournament stuff. And he always has this saying that he's told me, you got to go out there and get bloody, just go make it happen. And
True.
playing those Monday
True.
qualifiers, and I agree with that. It's a highlight. You figured it out, you're
Hmm.
learning, it takes what it takes. Shooting a 66, look, I'm begging for strokes from me if that's the kind of stuff you're going to throw at me. but
It was
but
awesome. Like I
you
literally
still
got
got
it
to
down to
shoot
the
it, right? I mean,
30th.
the funny thing
Yeah.
is it's still a
Right.
number, is you're kind of
Right.
chasing that best. So that's
Hmm.
cool. So where are you playing next?
So stage two is October 15th through 18th. So I'm trying to decide if I want to play another NWGA event. There's two more before Q School. They're both in Florida. So I'm on the way back up to North Carolina. So I'm deciding, do I want to work with my coach a lot, before Q School and really just focus on my swing and, playing rounds, just practice rounds, or do I want to go down to one of those and get some confidence and play well and have a few days and then play Q school. So I don't know. My coach and I are going to talk about it tomorrow and just see what we think is best for my game. I mean, everybody's different, so it might be best for me to focus, with him at home. So we'll see.
Well, it's, there are different ways to get there, and you hear some players saying they like to play the week before a major event. Some like to,
Yeah,
take it off and tune it up and
right.
be
I
sharp.
think
And you guys know what
I
you're doing
think
because
what
it's working. So keep it up.
I before stage one, I played the Florida Open. I played pretty well, and we had about 5 days between that and traveling to Q school stage one, and that was almost perfect. Like I liked having a tournament to prepare for, and then have a week because I think I would have gotten bored. Like I had 2 to 3 weeks before Q school, and I was like, I want to compete. Like I was so ready to compete again. I loved it. I mean, I still I love it, and so I wanted to go to Florida Open, played that, came back, worked with my coach for 5 days, and then went straight to California for stage one. And so this one, if I played the first one, I would just be home for a few days this week and leave and go down and then come back and then go back down for Q school. Or I'd play the next one and just go down early. So, and just have a few days. I'll have probably one day off and then those 2 practice rounds before Q school. So I'll just have to figure it out.
What's the best part of your game? What do you count on, to get you through all the time?
Right. Honestly, I love my driver. That's definitely my best club. I have really great club head speed, so I've never really had to work out. Working out's great, but I just realized for my game, it makes me tighter, and my swing already gets short. If I'm getting into something like an old habit, I get short and quick, and for me, I need length, taking it back and keeping it long and flowing. So it's all about club head speed and getting my full turn and then just completing it because I have really good speed at impact. So that's just like my huge gift, I guess you'd say. So I'm decently long off the tee and ball striking. I usually hit a lot of greens. So now just working with my short game and yeah, just making sure if I'm hitting a lot of greens, there's no reason I shouldn't be shooting under par. So consistently. So pretty much I'm working on a lot of pitch shots lately, just figuring out exact yardages for like 3/4 and half swing. So that's been fun. And then I go out and play and I have whatever 94 yards and I hit my shot and I'm like, wow, like I just practiced that. Cool. I went that exact distance. So that's been fun. Like I'm really enjoying that kind of practice now. I was working so much on my swing for so many years and, just left out a lot of my short game stuff. That was really important. So just consistently hitting the shots I want to hit and practicing what I need to practice and continue practicing putting and everything like that. So
What do you recommend, the amateurs, the ones that you watch? What's the advice you
hmm
have for them that they need to be focusing on to get better? Because again, they have limited time. They don't get to do it every day, right?
right.
But
As far as
what do
their
they need to be
swing,
focusing on?
I think a lot of them get really fast and try to hit it too hard. So I would just say for them, just smooth and keep it long and just swing through. I wouldn't. A lot of them want to hit it hard. You know, so far they hit it too hard or they, get too quick and it's just all over the place. But I would say just tempo for them. I mean, if you don't have much time to work on your game, I would say tempo is one of the main things. Just making sure your grip and your posture, and just go back to the simple things. So grip, posture, and aim, and all that, super important. So
That's a great tip.
um,
Swing like a girl, basically, right? And
that's
I mean
right.
that the right way, right? The respectful way.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
it's
hmm
yeah, it's common. I see a lot of folks trying to crunch it. But from when I watched Kayla in the beginning years ago, and
hmm
this chance, like I said, Anna, we had a battle. Kayla and Anna, went up against myself and another one of my buddies and co-hosts on another show. But both of them, I mean, obviously you play with them.
right.
Kayla's big, strong, powerful, sends it,
Right.
and sends it
hmm
smoothly. And Anna doesn't even look like it didn't even look like she's swinging. Like, and then she sends her forward, like comes rocketing by. I'm like, man.
Awesome. See, I'm
So
okay. So I just said not to hit it hard and fast, but
yeah,
honestly, like I hit it hard. Like I not hard, but like okay. For example, my team used to jokingly make fun of me because I have a recoil in my swing, especially my driver. But that's just how I've always done it. Like I cannot stop. I lose my club head speed. Like I have to just kind of like bring it
yeah,
back. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And so I
You gotta go
I
for it.
load up and I swing fast and hard, and then I just kind of recoil, but it works. So whatever.
Well, there's a difference between fast and quick, and all the stuff that
Right.
comes with it. But I guess knock the cover off. Hit it as hard as you can while you still have your shoes on.
It's
Maybe
pretty much
right. Keep your shoes
hard
on.
slowly.
Yeah.
It's pretty much I'm hitting it hard slowly, but at the very impact, it's just a lot of speed. I don't know how to describe
Well,
it really.
you got the club head speed. When people look at it, look, it's
Right.
however fast it may be, you wouldn't put your foot in front of it, right? So,
Right.
but cool. So, who you working with? You got some sponsors out there that are helping you get to the
I
next level.
do. Yeah, so Conceal, it's a concrete sealants company actually. They've been huge in helping me and I appreciate them so much. And the owner, he actually was a walk-on track athlete at Ohio State, and so he understands the grind of getting better and seeing where you can go and just not there yet, but he definitely loves my work ethic, and he's been huge, and so I really appreciate everything he's done. And I'm with Surf and Turf Golf, and they're awesome. Like I love getting texts from the two co-founders, and it's just a really cool community. One of the girls that is also with Surf and Turf, Summer, she's one of my good friends on tour, and they just make it fun. They send random stuff to you. And at Q School, he sent us some hats and whatnot, and he didn't have to do that. And with little notes inside, and we keep up. And he found a random shirt the other day that was actually they didn't have any more of the shirt, and I was like, dang, one of my friends wants that shirt, and he found one. And he said, I have an extra, so that was pretty cool. So Surf and Turf, and there's some other littler, smaller sponsors, but those are the, you know, Console is definitely my main sponsor and my parents. I will say this is kind of like I guess you call it my grad school. So I'm taking this time, and they're willing to financially support me with what I need right now. So that's been huge. I had an apartment after college, and then with me traveling so much, and in the winter trying to move to Florida, and with all the travel we do, it didn't make sense to renew my lease. So right now I'm living with my parents. So they have been kind enough to let me do that. So it's been good. And so I'm very, very fortunate to have all the help I do have.
Hey, folks, listeners out there, if you're looking to get involved with somebody, check Rachel out. Look what she's done so far. The biography's got 4 or 5 chapters written already. Looks like there's going to be some really good ones coming forward. So I think they should get on board. Wouldn't you say that?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I totally agree. I'm with they're not a sponsor, but I'm an ambassador for it's called Zahara Swimwear, and it's out of Australia. And some of the girls this week, we were playing together, and we were just talking about the Australian tour, and we're like, how cool would it be just to go during the winter, like when we don't really have any other, it's a winter tour, and so just go over there before semester starts and play like for like a month or so, and they have host housing and all that, and just travel together. I think that would be awesome. I've always wanted to go to Australia, but the fact that Zahara is based out of Australia, I just think that's cool.
So I'll have to check that out. Zahara Swimwear.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Yes.
So Concrete Sealant, Surf and Turf
Mhm.
Club,
Yeah,
and
it's just Conceal. It's just a big
Conceal.
C
Okay.
O N big S E A L.
And then you said the Surf and Turf Club are helping you out,
Yes.
and
Service. Yep.
all right, and mom and dad. We always got to count on mom and dad. So
Yeah,
thanks,
I
mom and
put
dad, for
Dad's
giving us a
business
shot.
is TRJ Inc., but I don't have him on my shirt. I don't know. He doesn't really care. But it's his business, pretty
Yeah,
much.
that's funny.
Yeah.
So all right. So I'm gonna ask you one more question here, and then
Okay.
I need to do an emergency 9 with you. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of
Yes.
that yet, but we'll do that. But you got on your Instagram board there. We talked earlier about faith, family, friends, and fun,
Mhm.
but you've got on your
Right.
Instagram feed Isaiah 41:10. What's that tell us?
Yes. Pretty much that was like my life verse, trying to get through freshman year, about how he's always with you and not to be afraid. So that's like one of my favorite verses for sure.
I got this little section. I call it the emergency nine because,
Okay.
you know, I know you're driving there, but not, we get 18 holes in. It's usually never enough. And since I'm lucky enough to get you, I want to go 27. So, but these
That's
these
right.
we always
Right.
play the last nine a lot faster, right? We can run in
We
the
do.
clubhouse and grab our beverage and for somehow we get
Kit
around
Kat
that
bar. I
that
gotta
nine
get
in
my Kit
about
Kat bar at the
it's
turn.
Kit Kat
Yeah.
bar. All right. Well, I can't
I
ask
have to
you.
have a Kit Kat bar. Yeah.
I can't ask you what your your favorite little cheat food is. I know what it is. It's the Kit Kat bar.
Yes, it's that's what it is. I had to get one at the turn every day this week. $3. There you go.
Three. You need to
Had
go
to
to
do
the
it.
store. $3. Man,
$1
might have
each
to be. We
day.
might have to. Oh, okay. There you go. I thought it was three
Yeah.
dollars a shot. I was like, we might have to visit a store.
No.
I was like, that golf
Yeah.
course. I've seen some outrageous golf course pricing, but man, $3
Oh,
for a
I had
Kit
to
Kat
get
bar.
3. And
Man.
then my sweet little pro-am guy, he brought me one on one hole, and it was so hot this week that it literally was melted by the first
Oh,
hole that he gave it to me. I was like, dang, but I still
well,
ate it. It was
it's the
fine.
thought that counts
It was
too.
nice of him.
Oh yeah, you're
It
gonna
was
eat it
so
for
sweet.
sure. You're gonna eat it for sure. Hey, chocolate. It doesn't
Oh,
matter what
yes.
form it comes in.
And
We'll
my
take it.
dad and I actually played in the Carolina's Parent Child, North Carolina, South Carolina, in Pinehurst, and we've always wanted to win. We always come in second place. I feel like it was before I turned pro, so it was like 2 summers ago, and we finally won. And this past year, they let us come back for a tournament champions dinner or whatever, and it was so funny because on our little plaque thing that we had to hold up for the picture, he put a Kit Kat bar in the back, and I was like, "You rock." Because I remember because they interviewed us and I said the Kit Kat bar at the turn helped me tremendously. So that's what did it.
Hey,
But he gave me a Kit Kat bar.
there you go. Nice. I like that.
So
So
Kit Kat, if you hear this, I would love you as a sponsor.
yeah, Kit Kat. Hey, let's do it. Get
Come
on
on,
board. Come
yeah.
on, Kit Kat. So
Sure.
go to kitkat.com and send
That's
them her
right.
way. So
Whatever.
wonderful. So we'll do this quick nine here. Let's start this way.
Okay.
Hardest club to replace in your bag.
Hardest club to replace. I would. Ooh. I would say my putter, just because I've had it for 8 years and I really don't want to get rid of it, but
Okay.
I might. I don't know.
Biggest golf pet peeve. What drives you nuts on the golf course?
Slow golf. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand it.
I don't know anybody that likes
Oh,
it, by the way, but yeah.
no, but like
All
I
right.
just hate it. Like you don't even know. Like I'm so like fast with what I do that I want to be done. Like let's just hurry up. So
What's a
that.
what's a favorite course you've played?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. Well, okay, we went to Ireland last year in the summer, and
Ooh,
I love Ballybunion Golf Club. It was
okay.
awesome.
Ballybunion. Nice. What's
Yes, I
the
mean it's probably not even people's favorite over there, but I loved it. It was just one of the best times I've had playing golf, really.
what's the bucket list course that you haven't played yet?
Well, I used to not play golf when we took trips as a family, and my dad would always play, so I never got to play the really cool ones that he got to play. So I've never played Pebble Beach. I still want to play Pebble Beach. That's hard, but I would say Pebble and what's the one up north called? I don't know.
Abandoned up there in
Remember?
Bandon Dunes.
Dang it. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Pine Valley. Pine
Oh
Valley.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, up north on that side
I
of the
would
country.
love to
Okay.
play Pine Valley.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Absolutely. That's on my list too, by the way.
So probably those two. I can't really think about
Yeah.
anything else.
So if any Pine Valley members, Kit Kat folks, Kit
And
Kat, what would be even better if you were
that means
Kit Kat people who are members at Pine Valley.
how perfect.
Rachel
That
and
would be
I'd love
awesome.
to join you sometime.
That's right.
There we go. What bump? How about this? Bump and run or flop shot?
Flop shot.
Really? All right.
By far, yes.
Yeah. All right. I like
It's
that.
more fun
I
to
like
me.
that.
I just like stuff like that.
Yeah, you got a little, you know, There's
I
an
like
art
seeing it
to it,
go
and
up
it's
in the air.
fun.
I
And
think it's
plus, you feel like
cool.
you
I
pull
mean,
it
how
off.
does that go all the way up in the air? It's just like, wow, I just did that. That's so cool.
There you go. All right. So, are you a music on the golf course or not type of person?
Yes, love music.
Yeah. What type of music is playing? If you're my car partner, what are we listening to?
Florida Georgia Line country.
All right, you're not my car partner then.
What'd you say?
I said, well, you're not my car
What'd you
partner
say?
then.
You don't like country?
I tease everybody, because I love having music on the golf course. But everyone's like, "You want to use music?" I'm like, "Look, I'll listen to anything but country." For some reason,
No
country just
way.
makes me bogey holes. So no,
Oh
I'm just kidding.
no. Well, my
There's a
program
few
partners
songs.
this week was all
I'm
about.
really joking about that actually. I listen to anything,
Oh,
but whatever gets
my
a whole group going, I'm good with.
yeah, there you go. My program partners this week wanted to listen to classic rock, so it's all the stuff my dad used to listen to, and I grew up listening to, and so it was fun. I like that too. So
All right.
whatever, really, I
Hey,
like everything.
look, Neil Young, that's way classic
No,
rock for you, but
more like Boston and Journey and uh, what's the other one?
well, I'm 47, so
Very nice
that's
special.
what I grew up on. So now it's cool. That's classic rock for me.
Yeah, that's right.
So, all
Heck
right.
yeah.
What's your favorite after round beverage?
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
I love sweet tea. I'm from the South, so
Yep.
what do you expect?
You gotta have it. You gotta have sweet tea.
I
All right.
love sweet tea.
All right. One more, and we'll wrap it up.
Make
What's
it good. Is it about ice cream? Because that's my favorite food.
well, it is now.
Mint chocolate chip
Favorite
ice
flavor of
cream.
ice cream: mint chocolate chip.
Yes, or birthday cake, or cookie dough, but definitely, or vanilla. But chocolate, yeah, mint chocolate chip's my favorite, and I'd say vanilla with sprinkles, or like cake batter, or like birthday cake.
Okay. All right. Well, mint chocolate chip, Kit Kats.
That's
We're
right.
loving it. So, all right, you got a funny story. I'll let you get back to making your way home, but you got a funny story
Oh, I do
on
want to
French
say,
fries,
remember when you
right?
asked? Yes, the French fry. Yes. Okay. So you had told me when I got done eating my Chick-fil-A to call you tonight, and you said waffle fries, and I always get like a 12-piece chicken nugget combo with fries and sweet tea. But tonight, I'd already had so much fried food today. I was like, okay, I cannot do fries again, I guess, unfortunately. I just only let myself have fries once a day, if any. And so Anna and I got fries. We took the jet ski to whatever island that was, Crab Island, and it's literally like a festival, like a fair out there. It's like food trucks in the water. It was so cool. And we just like took our little jet ski and rode up, and we ordered fries, and those fries were so good. But then we realized, oh my gosh, we have to get this jet ski back. We only have an hour on it. She's like, good thing you looked at your phone, because we really thought it's only been 30 minutes, but we're gonna have to leave in about 5 minutes from when we looked at the phone. And the fries were half eaten, and so I just kept them in the bag, and I was driving, and so I put them like right where I was sitting, and somehow they stayed on the jet ski because we were going pretty fast because we had to get back before the time was up. And so we got back. They pretty much
Yeah.
made the trip, but there was a bag. I mean, there was a hole in the bag from the water or something. So then these fries started falling out, and they got in the jet ski. And so we had to. He was just trying to like get the fries out of the jet ski before we got there because that would be weird. And then we got back, and there's still the hole in the bag, so that was an issue. But then we got in the car, and I was like still wanting to eat them because I was hungry. It was about lunchtime. We kept eating them. Then we went to the beach for just a little bit, and the bag was still doing well. And then we took them on the beach, and it made that trip too. And then we got back in the car, and I ate some more. So that bag just kind of stuck around. And then I ate a fry, and I feel like there was a piece of sand on it, but I was like, whatever. These things did well. It's fine. And then the guy was funny. The guy that was helping us with the jet ski,
Yeah.
he said, I said, do you want any? We have plenty. She's like, I'm not going to eat it. He's like, no, I'll pass on the soggy fry. I was like, it's not soggy. It's not. I promise. I wouldn't eat soggy fries either, but they're good. So
Pass
that
on
was
the
my
soggy
funny fry
fries.
story. So I couldn't get waffle fries, unfortunately, at Chick-fil-A. But it's okay.
That's hilarious. So, And there's video of you guys on Instagram too, her and Anna, folks. So go to what is it, Rachel underscore Erin, Erin, and the number 4, and
Hmm.
you'll find some cool stuff that Rachel's posting and a video of those two, goofing around on the
Oh,
jet ski. I
oh,
notice
yeah.
you're going pretty quick there. You're
We were. We
you're
were trying to
opening
get
it up.
back. No, we were actually kind of like 3 minutes late. So shout out to those people that let us just kind of wing that.
Well, you
Um,
did offer them soggy fries for being late, at
I
least. I mean,
did. They
you
just
came with
didn't
something at least.
wanna.
So
And then it was really funny. It was kind of humorous me trying to get the jet ski back on the little platform thing
yep.
because he said pull the trigger, and I was like, well, I didn't want to like ram it into the dock, and so I barely did it, and then it kind of went back down. I couldn't get up, and I had to do it like 3 times, but we made it. It's all good.
You made it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, you did. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun off the course,
It was so
and
fun.
because we know how hard you're working when you're on it.
Always.
So,
She said
so
she's already trying to plan her next adventure, so I was like, all right, you go do that, Anna.
yeah, that
Usually,
sounds like
it's
Anna.
usually spontaneous.
Yeah, she is. So, I just talked to people about following you on Instagram. What other places can they
Right.
follow you? Facebook and Twitter, or any other
Yeah,
places you're at?
Facebook and Twitter. I don't really. I mean, I post the pictures I post on Instagram on Twitter, but like, I'm not a huge Twitter person. I don't have any people like.
Sure.
I don't really do that. But I do have one. But mainly Instagram and Facebook is what I post to.
Yeah.
It's just Rachel Jones. I mean, I have a golf page, but I usually just put everything on my normal one. People like seeing my golf stuff from home, anyways, that aren't golfers. So I just put everything on that one page, so private page. But it's
Nice.
not private, You can
Sure.
have me or whatever.
Sure. What do people not know about? I like to ask this question of everybody, but
Oh yeah,
what
this
do
is
people
fun.
not know about Rachel Jones that is important for them to know about Rachel Jones?
Okay, for sure. I used to want to be a NASCAR racer, and I told Anna that today. So she actually does this now, but just
Okay.
today, because I was riding. I wanted to go kart riding, and she's like, "Rach, no, like no." I was like, "Oh, come on!" But then we got on the jet ski, and I made her do that, but she wanted to do that later. And I just love driving. I was like, "Thank you that you let me drive both ways, there and back." She didn't really care, so I was like, "Okay, I'll drive." And I love going fast. Um, and yeah, so if I ever make it super far and, they want me to drive a car for them, I am all for it. Sign me up.
There you go. Well,
It'd be so
I
fun to take one of
I
those
can
cars
see it.
around the track. My goodness.
I bet I got to watch. Well, I just watched you tear up the water, so I imagine
Heck
you'll rock and
yeah.
roll the golf course or
I love go-kart
the
riding. That was like
NASCAR.
my thing for birthday parties.
All right, that's
It was
cool.
funny.
That's way cool. So she's she's about her faith. She's
Oh,
dedicated to her sport.
and I love my dog.
She loves her dogs, and she
Doodle.
likes to go fast. So, but you're gonna have to add that in there,
Joey.
then, right? You got to be
What, my dog?
faith, family, friends, fun, and fast.
Fun. Fast. I love it.
Got to add it in there. So, we're
Oh,
up to,
okay. And also, one of my friends from school in high school, this was so cool because I didn't even know I wanted to play golf for the rest of my life. But he said, well, I don't know, this is kind of funny. He said, hitting drives and saving lives, as in, like, not me saving lives, but, like, me with my story with the Lord. I don't know. It was really cool. I was like, I
yeah,
kind of like that.
I
That is,
do
like, the
like that.
coolest little thing. Yeah.
Hitting
Like,
drives and
do
saving
it.
lives. I like it. Thanks so much for doing the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun.
In follow up with Rachel, she asked that I stress how God helped her through her most difficult time. We all have good days and bad. Your faith, your family, and your friends are always there for you. Thank you for listening to the Fore Interview with Tour Pro Rachel Jones.